Nagykanizsa. This house on the outskirts of the town preserves the memory of 3 artists. From here, nearly 6 decades ago, mother and daughter set out on a long journey. This video report from the Presidential Palace in New Delhi records the solemn moments of the presentation of the State Awards. Among the recipients we find Elizabeth Brunner, who together with her mother devoted her artistic talent and whole life to India. Today's India appreciates those who contributed to the reinforcement of the national identity and the creation of modern Indian culture, especially those who did so during her struggle for independence. This delicate unity, the cause of much concern, is a rich inheritance. As Rabindranath Tagore faithfully expresses in his Morning Song of India, the national anthem of the independent state, "Thou art the ruler of the minds of all people, dispenser of India's destiny. Thy name rouses hearts from Punjab to Bengal. It echoes in the mighty Himalayas, mingles in the music of the Ganges, and is chanted by the waves of the Indian Sea. They pray for thy blessing. Salvation waits in thy hand. Thou dispenser of India's destiny. Victory, victory to thee." Her mother did not live to see this moment. The daughter, Elizabeth Brunner, who is now 75 years old, is awarded with the Padma Shri State Prize for her representations of Indian life, portraits of everyday Indian people, prominent personalities, and Buddhist paintings. In May 1984, the Central Gallery of the Lalit Kala Academy in Delhi held a retrospective exhibition of the work of the 2 artists. These several hundred paintings represent the environment of the 2 women, their new home, chosen with heartfelt conviction and an almost self-denying identification with India.
I was born in Hungary. I became an Indian artist, and I love both.
Mother and daughter arrived in India in 1930 from a crippled post-war Europe, and India became their second home. The root of their success and international appreciation lies in the blending and synthesis of Indian traditions and the styles of the modern West. Only 2 exhibitions of their work have ever been held in Hungary, but they are known throughout the world. They have had 40 exhibitions in India, 12 in the United States, and 5 in Japan and Britain. But they have also appeared with success in Burma, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. It was not India's exotic flavour which fascinated them, but rather the profound spirit of India. In their symbolic style, they built not only upon the allegorical traditions, but they created new metaphors as well. Their art is a bridge between India and Europe. Indira Gandhi, visiting Hungary, brought several Brunner paintings as a gift, presenting them to the National Gallery and the Turi Museum in Nagykanizsa. Though they became famous far from their motherland, both nations can be proud of their art.
tulajdonképpen I'm really a portrait painter. My mother's favorite subjects were landscapes and flowers. My father is known for his portraits, landscapes and compositions. As a child, I used to go out with them and watch them painting and sketching.
Ferenc Sas died in Hungary in 1963.
My father was my mother's teacher. He was himself Ferenci and Hollósi student. Hollósi has asked him to search for talents in the countryside and help them to develop themselves. While on this mission, he met my mother. Then they followed Hollósi's request together, and every summer they conducted exhibitions and taught paintings in different towns in Hungary. In 1914, when the war started, my father's heart was broken. He didn't want to see anybody, any human being ever again. The war embittered him as they lost faith in humanity. Before we arrived in India, I had a dream. In this dream, I saw a glorious figure with white hair sitting in the dark, holding an oil lamp. When the oil lamp was going out, I felt it must not go out. So I ran forward and put my hand on the oil lamp, and the light came back. Then he looked at me and said, "Take this light to every corner of the world. This must go to every corner of the world."
In their search for fulfillment, the two women turned to Tagore, the great 20th century humanist, who on his Bengali estate at Shantiniketan founded a new university based on Indian principles. Here, regardless of sex, nationality, caste and religion, everyone was welcome. Against the foreign rule which had paralyzed the Indian spirit, Tagore set the appreciation of ancient Hindu values and a need for pride in the Indian way of life, and he spread his teachings by means of the traditional methods. His university was both traditional and modern, national and international. He returned to the nation her self-respect and reinforced the view that India could stand on her own 2 feet. Due to its ties with the great political personalities, the university became an intellectual center of the independence movement. The university gave strength and an ideological foundation for this fight, which ultimately led to independence.
Because Tagore, through his personality and writings, brought redemption to the people of all races. Warm, sincere love shines from his heart towards every human race. Minden fajához. Ezek a képek, these are my mother's paintings from Shantiniketan. she painted Tagore in an allegorical way. This picture among the trees is from the autumn of his life. This picture with flowers called the gardener is most important for Hungary, as my mother got seeds from Hungary and made a garden in which Gurudev came in the morning and looked at the flowers and meditated there.
Paintings done by the mother, from memory, preserve the images of her native land and recall the beauty of the Hungarian landscape.
It was lucky that in India, Gurudev Tagore took her under her wing, and in this way it was possible that she got her realization in 2 years. Then Tagore said, now you must go and see India in manifestation now that you have experienced its spirit. And if you have found its manifestation in the Himalayas or in the Indian temples, then express it yourself through your art. This was our greatest experience when we saw Gandhiji at evening prayer. He was jailed and he came to the south in 1934 to ask the women to help him in the freedom struggle. The rain of gold represents blessings, and the water brought eternal life. Bless Indian motherhood. The Indian night opens up many mysteries. This is a symbolic painting from the series of creation. The rainbow colors of the moon are very beautiful. This is the series of Himalayas from Darjeeling. When we went to the grave of Alexander Choma the Köhler in Darjeeling, my mother painted this series in different colors at different hours, early morning, late in the day, and at sunset. My mother loved the Kinchinjunga, adored the Himalayas, and loved flowering trees. So this picture is smiling. It gives pleasure, happiness, and the silhouette of the deodars symbolize eternal life. This is the enlightenment of the Buddha. He is still struggling with worldly suffering, but has already triumphed over death. But I am too small to speak about this. This is the portrait of my mother. She never sit for me. But once when she didn't notice, I made a sketch. So I have a picture of my mother. As an artist, I searched the soul through the human eyes. It is very natural that one should be influenced by such great personalities. But it is their inner goodness that really influenced me. I was moved most by their humanity. I saw them as true human beings and not as propagandists. It was a privilege to be able to paint a portrait of some of the greatest persons of this century in India. This portrait I have painted from memory, representing Meru as the part of the Himalayas. This is a very characteristic portrait of Tagore. He himself said, after seeing it, that so many painted him, but this young girl has got me really. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, while I painted him, he asked me such questions which influenced my entire life. Here the Dalai Lama blesses the people. This is a series which takes you on a pilgrimage. I painted these pictures for those who could never go to such places. Mahabodhi tree at Bodh Gaya. Cave in North Burma where pilgrims erect Buddha images. The cosmic Buddha, he holds the Bodhi tree which creates new life. Emerald Buddha from Thailand. This is the Parinirvana Buddha with the sapphire eyes in Ceylon. The motherland always remains with one. That is something which you keep forever. But if one has the motherland in one's heart, one can open up one's heart and receive impressions, spiritual influences, and accept what is the most beautiful and useful for one's artistic development. Hungary has always had a great culture. Some countries may think that Hungary is a small country, but it is a small country with a great soul and a great spirit. Let us bow our head before the truth. And please convey my most sincere and deep love with all my good wishes.